Hi, my name is Amanda, and this is my first video discussion besides the introduction for media history, and I will be discussing the First Amendment and how it applies to the real world and basically what it is as well. And I'm going to start off with the actual amendment and what it says, and it says, Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof, or abridging the freedom of speech or of the press, or the right of the people peacefully to assemble and to petition the government for a redress of grievances. So basically, the First Amendment is what the government can't do, and it's about the government, not the public. So when people say, I have freedom of speech, I can say whatever I want, I'm like, yeah, you can. You have words, you can say whatever you want, but that doesn't mean you can't get fired from your job. Now, if you have a government job, it's a little more iffy on that. But if you are working at Walmart and you go around saying bad things about people, or you're just saying very offensive stuff, they can fire you. They have every right to fire you. Your freedom of speech does not apply to that because they are not the government. And then same thing with religion. The government can't make their own religion, and they also can't go against a religion. They can't make laws against a religion, basically. But again, that doesn't say that if you go into establishment and they say if you're not Christian, you can't come in, they technically can do that because they're not the government. That doesn't mean that they should do that, and that doesn't mean that they can't have people go against them. Like, obviously, that people can do that. But the government can't intervene, and the government can't do anything about it. And then the freedom of the press is kind of the same thing as freedom of speech. Like, the press can basically say whatever they want against the government, and the government can't do anything about it because we have the freedom to speak our opinion. If someone in the press had said something and the government shut them down specifically because of what they said, that would not be allowed because of the First Amendment. And I think the First Amendment really applies to the real world now with social media. People think that they can say whatever they want without repercussions. But like I said before, if you're on Facebook and you say something hateful, or you say something racist or discriminatory or whatever, Facebook can ban you. They can do whatever they want. If people are against it and Facebook agrees, they can kick you out. They're not the government. They're allowed to do that. Now, if it was the government kicking you out, they weren't allowed to do that. And another real world that's been happening on campus is the cult, or I don't think I'm not sure if it's the Church of Wells that have been coming on campus, but a lot of people are saying that SFA should intervene and they shouldn't be allowed on campus, but the First Amendment right allows them to be. They have the right to be on campus, and as long as they're not being violent or anything, they're allowed to say what they want. And like I said before, it doesn't mean that they can't have people against them, because obviously if you've been paying attention to the on-campus on SFA, people have been completely against them, which I agree with. But they can't be kicked off. Like, it's basically a public place, and they can say what they want. I really do think the biggest real world issue that it comes with freedom of speech, or just the First Amendment in general, is the social media. Everyone doesn't fully understand the First Amendment, and they think that they can do and say whatever they want without any repercussions, but that's not the case, especially nowadays, especially with how fast something can get spread on social media. If people are offended by it, or they just feel like it's not okay what you said, it can be taken down. Like, you can't scream freedom of speech and think it's okay that everything you just said is okay. That's not a thing. It's the bottom line is the First Amendment. It's all about what the government can't do, and they can't restrict religion. They can't restrict the press going against them. They can't restrict the speech of certain things. Like, it's very, very complicated of figuring out what is considered free speech and what isn't. But for the most part, if it's not dealing with the government and the government isn't the one restricting it, it's kind of blurry. Okay, so I'm going to end it there. Thank you for listening and watching. I hope you enjoyed my intake of this, and I look forward to listening to y'all's.